Hey guys, welcome to my pick a card reading. It's awoken_Rubik's and it's been a long time coming since I've got myself onto YouTube. I know a lot of you guys that follow me on Instagram or have had readings with me on Instagram have requested a couple of pick a card readings to go up on YouTube, so here I am. What I've got today is 3 different piles, and I've got fluorite, I've got rose quartz and amethyst as the crystals. So what I'm going to need you to do is literally just take a few moments to focus and follow your intuition on which crystal or deck you feel drawn to. And then when you do, just bear that in mind. Feel free to skip until 1, 2 or 3 comes in onto the video and receive the message. So this video is all about what are you manifesting for yourself right now. So this is going to give you some clarity on the energy of the situation right now, what you may need to look out for, and just to give you an overall understanding of where you are at right now. So if you like what you're manifesting, great. If you don't, take note. So I'll give you a moment now to pick either pile 1, 2 or 3. So that's fluorite, rose quartz or amethyst. I've got some oracle cards, I've got some tarot cards. I'm going to mix and blend and get a nice overall message to see what you're manifesting for yourself right now. So let's start with deck number 1. This is for my fluorite people. This is the first time that I'm seeing these cards as well, so I don't actually know preemptively what your message is. So I'm going to very intuitively see what comes out, okay? The first card that we have is an oracle card. It says, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is a moment that the universe can truly get to work. Message. Secondly, we have from the oracle deck, pray. Then we have commitment. And then from the tarot, we have the Empress. Ooh. Followed by the 3 of Wands and the Page of Swords. So give me a second to tune in, okay? All right. Okay, group number 1. So this looks very much like a creative manifestation. Your very first card, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome, is the moment that the universe can truly work. Like, can we just talk about what a message that is? Surrendering to the universe. That is when the universe can truly work. This card is all about actually surrendering to the moment and not trying to control everything. So if you follow my Instagram, there was a recent post where I was talking about literally just doing that, surrendering to the universe and not trying to control everything. Because one of the greatest things that we all have to learn is that sometimes we don't have it all figured out, and as much as we like to use our will and positive thinking, etc., the universe has its own timing, and sometimes you just cannot comprehend that, you know, as small human being minds. Spirit actually has a much bigger plan for you. So at the moment, what I'm seeing for your guys' reading is that you are manifesting something that has quite a creative aspect to it. This to me feels something like a business where you're really expressing your own creativity. It feels like maybe even the midst of the beginning of setting up a creative project or a business, something entrepreneurial, where you're really having to just surrender to where it's taking you, what journey it's taking you on. When I'm seeing the pray card, this is all about setting intention. When you pray, you are usually asking for something or trying to manifest something, speaking to the divine, speaking to the universe, speaking to God, and trying to put put your intention out there through prayer. And next to that, seeing commitment, this is something that you have recently made a decision to literally commit to, something that you actually really want to do and take forward into your life. And it's not just about, the actual fruits of the labor here. To me, this very much feels like something quite close to your heart. When I see the Empress card, what you're manifesting is something, like I say, very creative, but creative that is kind of beyond you, if that makes sense. So sometimes when people say God works through you, right? And sometimes God or the universe or a higher power, whatever you personally want to call it, they need something to be manifested or brought to this earth or created on this earth, but they kind of have to use a person, right? So literally right here, right now, imagine like my clothing brand, Awoken Clothing. Not that the God's sitting here thinking like, you know what, we didn't have a clothing brand. It's more a case of, okay, we need to spread more positivity, or we need to bring the community together or a collective together. And the way that we do that is we need to put an idea into someone's consciousness so that they can actually manifest that and bring it into fruition. It's one thing having like an idea, but with the Empress card, this is all about like nurturing an idea. This is like growing something. Imagine it's like a child and you're in the midst at this moment in time of manifesting something right from the ground up, like a child, really giving it that nurturing, that attention, committing to it, seeing it through to fruition so that you can see your own creativity and what effect that has on the collective, onto other people. This Three of Wands card, threes are also the number of the Empress. 3 is the number that is ruled by the Empress, or I should say 3 is the number that rules the Empress, and it's also obviously here on the Three of Wands as well. Wands energy is the element of fire, so this is all about like action, getting things done, passion, drive. And 3s are all about creation, in the same way that 3 in the Empress card is about creation. 3 is all about expansion, going off to new territory, going somewhere maybe that you haven't been before. This can literally be very physical in terms of location, but it can also be like a level up, in life. So imagine you are working on this business, this project, and now it's about thinking a lot bigger than what your initial goals were. So if you're in like your first year of business, at first it might just be a case of, okay, I need to sort my logo out and get my creativity out there. But then as time goes on, the Three of Wands is more about like, okay, I wanted to get my clothing brand, for example, into a particular shop. But now I'm thinking Selfridges. Now I'm thinking I want to be on a catwalk, you know what I mean? If it's hair and makeup or beauty, instead of just doing like things or projects with like local people or friends, now it's about thinking, you know what? I could be a celebrity stylist. I could do Ed Sheeran's hair. I could do that person's makeup, you know what I mean? And often with the Three of Wands, I feel like this is very much about collaboration. Someone else is involved here. And it doesn't necessarily mean like partnerships. It could do, for some of you, it might be about partnerships. But for others, it will be about connecting with the right people to help them manifest what's going on here with the Empress. And the Three of Wands is about connecting with different people, being in the right place at the right time, to use other people's talents and skills. So imagine this could be you setting up a business or some sort of project. You could be organizing an event and you need somebody on music. So that's my DJ. I need somebody to create this logo for me. I need someone who is better at marketing than me, someone who could advise me on finances. This is all about expansion. The Three of Wands is a very Jupiter-based card, and Jupiter is all about expansion and growth. So right now you guys are manifesting for yourself a lot of literally growth, creativity. Things are starting to come to fruition for you, but it's important that you set the intention for what it is that you really want. With the pray card, Like I was saying before, this is all about intention and being very clear on what it is that you want to manifest for yourself. Make sure this is something very tangible. Make sure this is something that you can, really work with. Be very realistic when you're setting the intentions to manifest your creativity. But more than anything, try your very best to surrender and go with the flow, okay? Because when you start to control things, you become very disappointed easily, and it's so easy for you to lose your spark, It's very easy for you to sit there and be like, you know what, this just ain't working. You know what I mean? But really, you need to stop controlling every little piece of thing that's going on and just be like, you know what, I can't control that. Let's see how that plays out. And if it's great, excellent. If it's not, what can I learn from this, okay? Something that I'm also seeing here with your Page of Swords. Page of Swords, to me, is all about communication. Swords rules the element of air. So air is all about how you think, perceptions, logic, and communication. The page, for me, is all about messages. This is like news. Something is on its way. So I feel like you guys are manifesting something that is about to come to you through an email, a letter, a phone call, a text, but something that is going to be a little bit of a game changer for you. And that could be an opportunity, it could be that deal coming through, it could be that person says yes to that collaboration, it could be, yes, I won that deal, or I got that property. With the Page of Swords, sometimes it could be good news, sometimes it could be bad news, but from your guys' spread, it very much looks like something that is going to be positive. So look out for your emails, look out for texts, even conversations. Sometimes this could be about delivering some news when someone's come around for tea and they're like, oh, by the way. And you're like, by the way, that's huge. Guys, with deck number 1, your message is very much about continue to have faith, set intention, because you are literally manifesting what's going up in here into the physical. Stay praying. And praying to you, like I say, it doesn't have to be to God, it doesn't even have to be to anything in particular. Prayer is just about speaking it into existence effectively, if that's what the intention of your prayer is to manifest. But it looks like a really great spread for literally manifesting growth, a creative project, something where you're going to be collaborating with other people, bringing opportunity to yourself. And remember, surrender. Can't control everything, okay? You'll find so much freedom when you surrender. So that is your message, group number 1. So group number 2, my rose quartz people, let's go into your message. Like I say, I haven't seen these cards before, so this is very much as new to me as it is to you right now, okay? So let's take a look. Your first oracle card is, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Ooh, that's beautiful. Your second oracle card, you're the boss. Your third oracle card, stuck in the mud. And now we're going to move on to tarot. We've got the 2 of Cups reversed, the Star card reversed, and the 7 of Wands reversed. Okay, give me a second to tune. Okay, group number 2. I feel like this is very much a message about relationships for you guys, and there's a lot to learn for you here. Let's look at your first oracle card that stands out to me. This is Stuck in the Mud. This one comes to my attention first. Stuck in the mud. When I'm holding this card, I literally feel so tense, like I'm stuck. I feel really frustrated and even a little bit angry. No shade to anybody, but I just feel a little bit angry when I'm holding this card. I'm frustrated about a situation that feels like love or partnership. For some of you guys, it might be romantic. For others, it could be friendship, it could be family. But I feel really stuck. But you know why I feel like you feel stuck? It's because it's almost like you've lost your power here and you've given it away to somebody. And perhaps you haven't realized that. I'm drawn to this card here, you're the boss. I feel like this is a reminder that you are the creators of your own destiny, okay? And sometimes when we feel stuck or when we feel like we're not getting the results that we want to, sometimes we can be really quick to look at other people, what someone else has done. And all of a sudden, without realizing it, we get into like this victim mentality when really we cannot blame other people for how they treat us. That is just a reflection of them. The only thing that we can control is what we accept, i.e. boundaries. And this is what you need to reassess here, group number 2s, because what you're manifesting for yourself is just this sense of feeling stuck here, where you're not able to almost like speak your truth, and it's affecting your romantic relationships. The Two of Cups, when it's upright, is a card that is about love, relationships, harmonious ones relationships where you feel fulfilled and content. And when it's reversed, it's like getting the opposite of that, literally the opposite, where when I'm holding this card, I feel very unfulfilled. I feel like I'm not being listened to. And I'm just getting literally visuals of like sitting on a sofa with my arms crossed, my partner's there watching TV, I'm annoyed about it, but I'm not saying anything. Because at the same time, I feel like, what is the royal point? What's the royal point? Are you gonna listen? It feels like quite a battle here that's manifesting for you, group number 2s. And this is reflected in your Seven of Wands. Again, this is a reverse card. Seven of Wands is all about feeling like you're on shaky ground. It's like when you have to face confrontation, for example, or face a certain situation and you don't really know how to go about it. You know, you do have resources, you do have the skills or experience to, but it's almost like how do we tackle this problem? And your answer is kind of like in the Star card right next to it. The Star card, generally speaking, is all about like hope, faith, renewal, healing. The Star card is what follows in the tarot, the Tower. And the Tower, if anyone is familiar with tarot, is a really difficult card. It's one of those cards where you see it in a spread and you're like, ah! But there's no bad cards in tarot. They're all constructive. So the Star card is all about healing. And this is what I really feel like you need to take some responsibility to do. Remember earlier in this reading with your guys' spread, I was saying that you have to set boundaries and you have to take responsibility for yourself in the role that you're playing in a relationship to be able to even begin to heal. You have to realize your own personal patterns, because literally here, you are the boss and you are allowing somebody else to tell you who you are, to almost like control you. And I'm not saying that your partners or your friendships or someone in your family, etc., you know, is controlling, but the fact that you're giving your power away, the fact that you're not creating those boundaries is literally making you look like this guy. Like, look, can you see that? Man is a puppet out here. And that's not who you are. You've never been like that. So no wonder you're feeling like you're stuck in the mud. I want to just bring you back to this message here. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Okay? This is a massive teaching here. It's similar to surrendering, but it's more a case of coming from a place of love and compassion. You know, in the situation that you have manifested for yourself, group number 2s, I feel very much like you've just lost yourself a little bit, and it's made you become a little bit angry and resentful. And sometimes you have to just really recenter yourself and bring it back, and ask yourself, okay, where am I giving my power away and why? And instead of beating yourself up about it, you really need to just be like, you know what? I didn't speak my truth in that moment, or I'm acting out of a past trauma. The reason why I'm being defensive, is because you remind me of when my ex took advantage of me. Sometimes it's one of those moments where you're like, well, damn. And it's not about blaming yourself. It's about accepting that you are where you are, okay? And you were where you were, okay? Don't ever beat yourself up for your own personal experiences, and sure as hell not for your own personal growth, because this is what this is all about. To get yourself out of this feeling of being stuck in the mud, and to, avoid sort of manifesting yourself further and further into that quicksand, you kind of have to really just take it back for the moment, see where you have dropped your boundaries, where you have sort of got these expectations, perhaps even of somebody where they're not being met. And it's almost like being disappointed when your picture of someone changes, or when you realize that you're in a relationship that a few months down the line or a few years in, this is actually a relationship I didn't sign up for. But where did you put a stop to that? You can't, and I guess, you can look at your partner and you can work with your partner or your friend or your family member or whoever this is. But ultimately, the work that you need to do is something that can only be done by you. So if it takes you going back into your past and looking back into, previous relationships, it could be even your childhood, something that you picked up from your parents that has seeped into your relationship. But ultimately, I feel like route number 2, you need to take your power back and remind yourself that you really are the boss here. It's not about dominating anybody. It's about realizing that you are a person here, and you don't have to literally merge when you're in a relationship. You are separate people. What are your ideas of love? What are you trying to measure your partner up to that's made you so disappointed? Is it communication? Is it love? Is it feeling fulfilled? What is it? And then once you put your finger on that, you'll see that it's actually like this ball of wool that you've created here. It's about finding the end of that ball of wool, okay? And then tracing it around and around until it gets unraveled. Start the healing process, okay? Speak to your partner. You can overcome this, but only if you face up to it. There's no point in you allowing that mud to suck you down, okay? Because what you're manifesting for yourself, if you continue to go down this road, it's gonna be like quicksand. And you're both gonna walk away feeling so hurt and confused. Just stop now, okay? And if it takes 5 minutes, if it takes 5 days, 5 weeks, give it some time. Sit back and figure out what you need to give love, compassion, and patience to, okay? Much love to group number 2s. I can see that that's quite a difficult thing that you're going through at the moment, but don't stress, okay? If you need any further guidance, remember this is a reading, for the collective. So if you do need something a little bit more personal, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I would be more than happy to look into that for you to give you a little bit more clarity or insight, okay? So that's group number 2. So this is for my amethyst people who chose group number 3. I'm going to start with your oracle cards, okay? So what have we got? So through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. Ooh, nice. Your second oracle card is name your higher self. Followed by talisman. And your tarot cards are the 7 of Swords, Temperance, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. All right, group number 3, just give me a moment to tune and I'll be with you in a sec. You know what, guys? The very first thing that comes out to me for you is travel. I feel like you're manifesting for yourself a trip, and I don't even feel like this is a holiday or anything like that. I feel like it's more about self-discovery. The Seven of Swords and the Temperance card both make me feel like you've come to a point perhaps in your life right now where it's time for you to break away from your sense of security or your sense of comfort and really just try and discover something for yourself. And I feel like the way that you want to do that, or the way that it's manifesting for yourself, is by discovering some new territory, going perhaps for the first time to a country by yourself, somewhere where you've always wanted to go, taking a break somewhere to discover a foreign land, maybe that has a foreign language, to be able to explore something and learn from that experience that you may not be able to get when you're in your comfort zone, when you're always with your friends, when you're a part of that group, you know, for example. And I feel like you very much need to listen at this moment in time to your higher self, because what you're manifesting is literally what has been on your heart for so long. It's almost like when you ask the universe for change or for some sort of enlightenment or experience, or what's the next step, or whatever it is, right? And the universe, it likes to give you things that sometimes at first doesn't make sense. Like, I could literally be here and say, universe, I want to manifest love, and then all of a sudden I feel really pulled to go to this bar, you know, and I'm like, bruh, I don't want to go to a bar, but I feel pulled to go. And it's not about me meeting the person inside the bar. That person could be standing outside, and the moment that I get there, they've dropped their keys on the floor, and I'm like, oh, here you go. And then all of a sudden it's one of those moments where it's like, da, da, da. But you wouldn't have got that, yeah, unless you listened to your higher self. Okay, so I feel very called to tell you guys to listen to your intuition, because you've been asking for this for a while and you really need to trust yourself. Okay, this new experience, this travel, this trip is something that is going to create quite a ripple effect into your life and to other people's lives. It's about experience. It's about learning something that you can't get in your own backyard. And this talisman oracle card, I feel like this talisman is more about a compass, you know, it's like your inner compass, this talisman of power. I feel like the talisman is more like a compass. It's more like a GPS, and I feel like that is your intuition. If you look at this talisman card, you might be able to see there that there's like this winding path that she's following, and she's almost holding something right there in the card, where it's almost like her safe keeping thing, something that she wants to bring along with her that is guiding her there. But sometimes our compass is actually just our gut feeling, our inner knowing. And I really feel like what you have been manifesting for yourself is just almost like a level of higher consciousness. It's almost like a breakthrough. It's like enlightenment, something that you have been asking for. You know, when you just feel a little bit like, is there more? You know, is this it? You know, go to work, here's the weekend, we do the same thing on Saturday. I need more excitement. I need to feel a little bit more fulfilled or enriched. So if you guys have been thinking about taking a trip, doing travel by yourself, I would really, and obviously I can't tell you guys what to do, but I would give you some advice to really do that. And don't think about money getting in the way of this, because if you're watching this and you're based in the UK, you can go to Spain for cheap, okay? Because sometimes I get that it might not want to be, you know, Spain can be a little bit like another England here. It doesn't have to be Spain, but try not to get money. Try not to make money a blockage, okay, group number 3, because once you do that, you take the magic out of it. It's quite easy for us to just go on, like it could be Ryanair or something like that and book a flight for like £30. Go somewhere close if you feel that scared, okay? If you don't, then literally venture out to Thailand, to Australia, wherever it is you feel like you need to go. But I really want to encourage you to try something different and really just put yourself out there. Trust in yourself, because you've been asking or manifesting, you have been asking or setting some intention to feel more secure, more fulfilled, a sense of enlightenment, perhaps a higher consciousness. And the only way you're going to do that is by coming out of your comfort zone, trying something new, trying something different. Having a new sense of self, or just feeling overall enlightened by an experience. And sometimes we think that we can get that by choosing a different restaurant this Friday, but really we need to get the hell out of the country, the hell out of the city. You know what I mean? And don't wait around for other people to come with you, because you'll be waiting a lifetime, okay? Take it from me, I'm 28 years old and my friends have still not come with me to China. I'm going by myself. Anyway. Okay, so I really feel like you guys are coming to a state of just a level of peace, and I feel like that is going to be manifested inside of you just very much internally. I feel like right now you are in the midst of your healing, your own personal journey, understanding yourself, seeing the bigger picture, a rising of consciousness, drawing a little bit more to personal development or spiritual development. And ultimately, in the bigger picture, this is all about you literally creating this ripple effect in the world. This is about leading by example. This is about you being the love that you want to see in the world, being the compassion that you wish you had when you were going through something in the world, and putting yourself in a place of leadership. I feel like this journey and what you're going through at the moment is all about just finding yourself, finding about who you really are, what makes you happy. And if that is a case of learning from other people, other cultures, other lands, then that's what the hell you need to do. Okay? So ultimately what you're manifesting for yourself is a high level of consciousness, greater healing, greater personal development, more experiences for yourself so that you can feel enriched and nourished. And ultimately this is going to put you in a place of leadership, literally leading by example, so that by you shining your own light and your own authenticity, it automatically raises other people's vibrations who are around you. It's almost like this light switch that turns on and you are the light, and other people then feel like they are more comfortable to be themselves because they see it in you, and they see the compassion that you might have, or the understanding that you get through what you're manifesting here, and it then gives other people permission to do that, and you literally are the ripple effect. It's kind of like when people say, be the change that you want to see in the world, okay? And this is literally what you're manifesting for yourself. Perhaps you guys are wanting to be like spiritual teachers, or just regular teachers, leaders, perhaps someone who wants to start their own YouTube or their own Instagram and be and spread messages of love and enlightenment or spirituality, your own personal experiences. Perhaps that's what's coming for you in the long run. But for you group number 3s, I very much feel like it's all about personal development, going on a journey and just manifesting for yourself new experiences where you can break away from what everyone has told you life is, from what your family said that it is, from these old standards and expectations of yourself, like school, college, university, marriage. Who the hell is happy with that though? And does it happen like that? And these are the questions that you're perhaps, asking yourself. And now it's time to use your own intuition, your heart, your gut feeling as your talisman to guide you along this new life that you are creating yourself, that you are creating for yourself. And the best way for you to do that is to expand your territory. Try different things. Go to different places, foreign lands. Talk to people you wouldn't usually speak to. Strike up a conversation with someone that you always see at that bus stop, yeah? And just be like, you know what? I see you all the time, yeah? And then all of a sudden you might realize that this person is really into, I don't know, it could be YouTube, it could be creating graphics, and then you realize that, like, wow, that's something that I would also like to learn about. Nobody that is placed in your life, group number 3s, is a coincidence, is random, okay? It's never random. Everybody in your life is a reflection of you and has a purpose. And that purpose is always to help you to change and grow for your highest and greatest good. So break away from that camp. Break away from your social circles, what your friends think, what your friends have told you, what society has told you, and just go and discover yourself. Follow your gut feelings, follow your heart, because ultimately the rewards for you group number 3s are amazing. What's going to come your way? It's going to be like the absolute glow up internally, and people are just going to see how much you radiate love and compassion and adventure and that leadership. I promise you, the more you follow yourself and trust in yourself, the more that you will become just a walking, talking example of self-discovery. And that is one of the greatest gifts of all, okay? And remember, group number 3s, this is a reading for the collective, so some areas will apply to you, some areas won't. If it does resonate with you and you would like something a little bit more individual, tailored to your actual, your personal life, feel free to send me a message. I'm on Instagram, awoken_Rubix, and we can book in a personal reading to see perhaps, what country is it that you go visit maybe. So that's it for groups number 1, 2, and 3. Whilst I was shuffling, I had a jumper, and this I felt was very much a message for the collective. So I haven't seen this card. This is a tarot card. I'm just going to reveal it right now to everybody. Ace of Swords. Clarity. As a group message, I want to advise you all not to make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. And I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This is my very first YouTube video. Like I said, if you do want a personal reading, feel free to message me on Instagram. It's awoken_Rubix. All of the information will be down in the description box, so feel free to send me a message. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate you. And there's plenty more videos where this came from. So remember, this is just number 1 of many. Thank you very much, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.